on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, miss you every day. You like my oxygen. Make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in, then break you out. In the end, we're gonna make it.
Deanna, we're back for another episode of All Time High. I'm excited. The market continues to pace. We're going to jump right into today's episode by taking a look at where we are on the bigger picture. But then we're going to talk about one of your areas of expertise.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about AI.
Love
So
it.
we're actually going to bridge the AI to cryptocurrency because there are some AI coins out there. In fact, as we look at today, Bitcoin's taken a little bit of a hit, and our all-time cap is at 2.47 trillion. Extreme greed at 82. Anything you see or want to point out there in terms of more recent trends?
Yeah, well, so I was just reading Reuters yesterday, today, whenever, and they actually said that AI coins are outperforming Bitcoin right now, where they're up 165% over the year, whereas Bitcoin's only up 151%. So you're talking about something that started with a $2 billion market cap last year and is now extenuated out to over $26 billion in the market cap. So it's one of the fastest growing categories in crypto right now. So it's a hot topic.
Yeah. So if you even thought about the last, calendar year, or especially 6 months, I think you did calendar year to date, the two hottest categories have got to be AI and crypto. And so what I did was look for the Venn diagram of life to pull up what you're seeing here from Coin Market Cap. It represents all the AI tokens by market cap. And so wow, it looks like a bad last 7 days, but that's only because it's been up so significantly this particular year.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through. I've heard of a couple. I actually own one of these. Is there anything in here that and the irony is we're highlighting the green aspect of this. This might be one of those buy the dip days. No,
Yeah.
not financial advice.
No, and I was just thinking like, well, yeah, it goes down. That's the chance to buy. That's what I want to say. I hate when it keeps going up and you feel like you missed an opportunity. There's a lot of projects here. Interesting. I was curious in what ways they're actually leveraging AI, right? And so,
Okay.
Render, we talked about Render. And it's a fairly well-known project, right? I didn't dig into too much. I understand that it has a lot of text to image AI generation. It has a AI marketplace, which I'm guessing the utility of the coin is to be able to purchase things within that marketplace. Like I said, I haven't done a deep dive into it, but I do think when you're at the intersection of both AI and copyright laws or AI and copyright infringement, you have this unique opportunity to where you can start like digitizing, you can start tokenizing different art, you can start tokenizing different words, and you essentially are going to create a whole new set of artists that actually come out of this movement. So for example, let's say I have an AI system and I tokenized, surreal dreamlike state or something like that, and those words were tokenized, and in order for you to even use those words in the AI system, you would have to buy that token off of me. That's an interesting use case. Another interesting one is being able to, like we said, tie your art to a tokenization because of the copyright issues. So as you're seeing these two techs come together, there's going to be more and more opportunities for outside of the box growth to happen. But I think that those are just some of the interesting aspects that could come out to play right now.
So let's talk about that for a second. A couple things popped to me. One is in the last 7 days, it has fallen off a bit. But if you look, as you mentioned, kind of that leap up from earlier in the year, the price has increased significantly. And do you know how I know that it's a decent investment, or at least something that I should consider? Not financial advice from me, but Howard Lindzen. I hear him talking about it, which means it's happening in investment social circles.
Okay.
He may not know all that much about crypto or blockchain or artificial intelligence, but I know he thinks about things in terms of 8 to 80. So I need to do my own research, just like you should do your own research. But if this is something, because of the artistic implications that you advocated for, can actually be used at various points during somebody's life, I know that's how Lindzen looks at the stocks, at the cryptos that he invested in. So I'm going to take a deeper look at this at some point. But again, I just keep hearing it, and look at those numbers, 723% year to date, 1 year
Yeah.
ago. Wow.
Oh, it's even more than they had said. Yeah,
Well,
maybe it
that's
was.
not from calendar year to date. And I think this is what I was mentioning. It may not have been on the screen.
I got you.
Were you able to see all this earlier?
Yeah, I was able to see all that earlier.
Okay. The
Yeah.
other one, and of these, do you own perchance any of these protocols?
I don't. I've actually worked with Singularity Net before. They're a really interesting project. They had the robot, if you can remember that. I wish I could think of her name off the top of my head, but about 4 years, 6 years ago now. Holy cow, man, space goes fast. About 6 years ago, they had a robot, and they were working a lot with AI. So Singularity Net is a very well versed company. I'm curious as to how they have a token or what they're using the token for. Again, how many of these are really utility? I think the more you keep digitizing things, whether you're integrating AI, shopping, with like the crypto just kind of sits very nicely into those ecosystems. And so as we explore tech, we're just going to find new and new opportunities. But there's a lot. There's a lot more than I thought there was.
For sure. And I think some of them may have the premise and some have the promise and some have the utility. And
Of
so
course.
the distinction between the idea and the reality is going to be a big catalyst for any dollars that I would choose to otherwise put behind them. Now, I do want to give you an opportunity here. I know you work for an AI company.
I do.
Can you tell us more about that? Are there any tokenomics there associated with it?
Yep.
Are you thinking about that in terms of as an organization going down that path? Is that a
Yeah,
way to fund the activities?
yeah, it's always on the table. I think it's something we're always looking at. The when it comes to gaming, okay, so first off, I work for Blockade Labs and we are a text to image. Well, it's a 360-degree 6K equi rectangular image that comes out within seconds. So I can type in words and within 30 seconds, I could actually be immersed into an entire environment. So what's the difference between us and other 2D companies or other like Midjourney? They work on 2D flat assets, right? So they're making maybe a scene, more of a picture, more of a girl, more of objects, right? Like they're trying to replicate one specific thing. We build entire environments. And what we're building towards is, you start having these AI agents and the AI can know and knows how to interact within its environment. Well, in order to enable AI agents, we want to make smart environments. So as you're creating within your environment, it recognizes what you're creating and the systems are able to talk to each other. Right now, there's an issue if you wanted to create in like regular art with AI, you might be able to get it close, but you can't always get it close. And it's very difficult for the AI to actually know when an object is placed within the scene. Our company is looking to actually bridge that gap and make it almost seamless. Then with a big difference between Sora and us is
Oh, I've heard
Sora
about
is,
Sora for sure.
yeah. No, trust me, we all saw it and everybody was like, no, it's incredible technology, like absolutely fascinating technology. But whereas they're creating something for aesthetics, we're actually creating something for interoperability. So think of video games, right? If I go to a video game and I pick up a rock, what is the music that plays? What is the thing that happens? Does my environment know that this just
Rock and roll?
happened? Yeah.
Is that
And
a,
so we're
is
we're
that a dad
tying it all
joke? That was a
together.
bad dad joke. I'm sorry. I couldn't
Oh,
help.
did you say
You said
rock and roll?
what kind of music do you play when you pick up a rock? I'm like, rock and roll? I
Oh.
don't know.
Good one.
So bad it's good, right? No doubt.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's cutting edge. I'll tell you, a lot of people are intimidated by AI. You don't need to be. It's only as trained as we smart. It's only as trained as smart. It's only as
Yeah,
smart as
that's
we
just
train it to be. Yeah,
fair
and
enough.
obviously, if I'm training it, we're good.
Yeah, we're on track. Well,
We're on
speaking of
track.
on track, I asked about ICO and you didn't really take that hook, but what about an IPO? I mean, this is one of the hottest spaces, not only
Yeah.
from coins, but in VC as well. And not
Yep.
only from VC, but NVIDIA is the darling of investments over the last year.
Yeah, and actually, NVIDIA, when we first launched, NVIDIA came to us. We're in NVIDIA's Inception program.
Okay.
They come to us sometimes to do some of their projects because their tech can't do what our tech can. In fact, Jensen gave a SIGGRAPH speech in August of last year in his keynote, and we were actually the warehouse scene. We created that scene for them because they couldn't do it, and then they mentioned Blockade Labs as a partner on stage. So we were super excited about that. We do want to ride this wave. It also has to make
Okay.
sense, right? So we're trying to find what are creative ways that we
Common
could
sense or financial sense? I know you're
both.
being very close to the vest. Like you're
Both.
so authentic in our conversations and dialogue. I can just tell there's something like percolating under
Maybe.
the surface here. I know
Maybe.
if you can't talk about it, you can't talk about it. I'm just gonna gently put pressure on it.
Well, I'll tell you, we have a utility case all day. Like
Yeah.
an in-game utility, you come to Blockade Labs, you use a token to generate, you buy up credits, whatever you want to call the naming system, gaming, all of this tech is absolutely perfect for crypto. So yes, we will integrate at some point. It will most likely be a utility coin, but that doesn't mean we're not thinking of inventive ways to kind of play with it.
Well, sure. It seems like with the video game premise and the utility of the coin within the game, you could create the tokenomics. But who am I to say? I don't know. I'm not a gamer. It's your company that you're part
Yeah.
of. You're probably looking at multifaceted aspects of what your capabilities are. If you need investors, not that you do, but is there any place or person that they should reach out to in regard to that?
Yeah, absolutely. You could always hit us up at sales@blockadelabs.com or Diana, it's DIONNA at blockadelabs.com. And we're happy to send you all of our information, anything you need, give you a tour, give you the lowdown. I mean, it's amazing tech, and I'm really excited to be on this part of it.
Yeah, and I don't think at all that we intended to do this. This is not sponsored.
No.
It is, your day to day, and I know you know the space, you love the space, and you
Yeah.
really do have this eye that I've noticed over time for being early to environments that are ultimately quite successful. So, even if it isn't where it should be today, or maybe it's on its path to being there, because you seemingly have that sixth sense, that intuition that gets there a few, I don't know, years ahead of when other people arrive. So
Yeah. I started this
I
2
hope
years
people are
ago,
able
right?
to.
Remember that?
You
2
started
years
what?
2 years ago.
Oh, for
Started in this
sure.
job 2 years ago. So before AI was even really a thing. And I'm just lucky that I've been around really smart people who show me breaking technology. In fact, everybody in my company, just about, we're all Bitcoin people. So we're Bitcoiners turned AIers, and now we're understanding that the ecosystem is going to be perfect for a utility token.
Well, there you go. Applications for employment should also be forwarded, but if there's no
That's right.
BTC OG status, or you don't know what the BTC ETF is, you're probably not going to get hired. I'm not saying what I don't know, because I don't know what I don't know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, if you're going WTF to the BTC ETF, probably not going to work.
That's not going to happen. Let's take one more glance at this, and let's just randomly pick a coin. Now, which one of these coins do you think I've invested in?
Ooh, let's see. I feel like Oasis. I don't know why Oasis stuck out at me.
So that's not a bad guess, because I have a tendency to look at names of things. Like, naming conventions are important to me, but down my very utilitarian path, trying to find utility at every turn, I went and looked at how many developers are on the different protocols, and for probably good reason, was near the top.
Yeah.
And so that is one of the ones that I've held for several months now, if not 6 months, trying to make it to a year. But, it's kind of an ebb and flow thing, the up, the down, the left, the right. And I keep hearing about Render. I have a tendency to lean into top 100 coins. I don't know if that's good, bad, or ugly, but it is my tendency.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make a concerted effort to look outside the top 100, because if I'm looking for stupendous returns, is that even a word? Stupendous?
Stupendous. Sure.
Stupendous. Yeah.
It is now.
It is now. We're going to use it. I mean, look, there's a lot of great names. There's a great name, Phoenix, and look at that market cap. That's not outrageous. That's $19 million. Is that right?
That's pretty good. Like, that was 72 million down there. I mean, there's some pretty heavy hitting ones.
Look at Vector Space. I mean, you want to get in on that action, you could probably hold a large percentage of the cap. Look at that.
Vector Space is interesting. We used to work with a Vector Space, but it was an actual space company. See, sometimes I wonder how much these are just riding some of the names too, right? I kind of want to dig in now. I want to dig in a little bit more and see what the use cases really are for some of these.
Well, there's one that I'm not going to invest in based on name alone, Lush AI. I don't even want to know. I mean, I do, but I don't. It's another one of these multi-decimal place coins. You want to look at this one? I can't believe we're here, but here we are.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't support the Lush.
The Lush AI community.
I don't know.
You know, you got to be careful out there too. I will say this, and this is probably, you and I run the ebb and flow back and forth from investing to being cautious about it. A lot of times when you have developers that are looking to pull a community together, be cognizant of who might be holding the bag at the end of the conversation, because if they are compelling enough, if they're convincing enough, if their idea is big enough and you're like, oh yeah, I want to put my money in, and you put in at $1, somebody's going to buy you out at $10, hopefully, optimistically. And then somebody's going to buy that person out at 100, but at about 100, the developers are probably going to back out, pull out, and there's the rug pull. So just be cognizant and cautious. I think one of the best things you ever say, and I'm going to ask you to say it all over one more time. If they don't show you the people, you're probably getting set up for a rug pull, but you say it a little bit differently. How would you say it?
Yeah. If I can't contact the team, no go.
No team, no dream.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm putting my money somewhere, I want to be able to contact the people who have it.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, Deanna, I think we did a nice quick look at the AI sector. This coin market cap obviously warrants more consideration. I look forward to hearing of any of the investments that occur and how your company, where they go from here. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time, watch. I don't know how I got